loves, welcome back to my channel and happy new year. So starting off the new year with some pretty big news here on my channel. I kind of went MIA the last few months of the year, was doing some fall content, and then in the middle of all of that I found out that I am pregnant. So very exciting. I've been pretty open about our TTC journey on my Instagram and my blog. I'll include all those links down below. But it has definitely been a journey to get here, and I am just so grateful to be able to even say the words that I am pregnant. We did get pregnant back in 2019, but we did miscarry, and I've been open about that and shared that. And just our struggles, you know, getting pregnant. So I've done podcasts and a lot of blog posts and stuff talking about that. So if that's something that you're currently going through, or you're experiencing, or you're trying to conceive, I do want to include those resources down below. I also did a whole blog post answering a lot of questions about what I did to help support my fertility. So this video isn't going to be going into too much of all of that, but I do have those resources down below. So I will include the links to my blog and everything like that. In this video, I am going to be talking a little bit about the first trimester of my pregnancy. I'm now in my second trimester. I've been in the second trimester, I think, since November. So I've had a little bit of time to think and reflect back, and I wanted the first video back here on the new year. So many were requesting, you know, how did I know I was pregnant, first symptoms, and like some of the essentials that help get me through the first trimester. So that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. I'm so excited to share a little bit more about that with you guys today, and yeah, I hope that you will enjoy this video. I always love watching like trimester recaps from other YouTubers, so I'm excited to film one today for you guys. So get comfy, get cozy, and let's jump in. So let's go back to September. That's when we found out that we were going to be having a baby. It was kind of surreal, especially pregnancy after loss. It definitely has a different kind of tone. And there were definitely nerves and anxiety, and just kind of protecting of my heart in those first few weeks especially. We didn't get pregnant right away after, as I mentioned, we got pregnant in 2019, and that took time as well. And then after we miscarried, it took exactly 1 year later to get pregnant again. So it definitely was a surprise, in the sense of, you know, we just, you know, every single month you're kind of just preparing your heart for, you know, your period to come. And I wasn't expecting it, but I definitely was just so tired. It was just like this fatigue that was so strong, and I had a little feeling, I didn't have the feeling all day, but I was just so tired the last few days. We saw family and had lunch, and then we came home, and I was like, Neil, I just need to take a nap, and I do not nap. So he went out on our patio and was just out there with the dog, and then all of a sudden I just got up in bed and I was just like, I should take a pregnancy test. And I don't take pregnancy tests just because it just started getting too triggering for me. I would just kind of let my period come every month, and that would kind of let me know. And if it didn't come, you know, that was basically my time that I would test. But I was still a few days away from my period that was supposed to come, because I was tracking it through an app. So it was a little bit unexpected in that sense, but we were obviously actively trying, so not too much of a surprise. So I did a test, and there was a little faint line, and I asked Neil to come out, and he's like, yeah, it's there. You think like your mind is kind of like playing tricks on you when you see that little faint line. You don't know if it's actually there. And then I kept taking tests, and the line was getting darker and darker, thank God. And I was just so grateful for that. So went in, we actually had an appointment with a fertility clinic booked the week that I found out I was pregnant. So I was very grateful. I live in Canada, and the healthcare here, I'm so grateful for it. And they actually took me in the fertility clinic anyhow, just to monitor me. We also tried to go to that fertility clinic the last year, and around that, when we were doing testing, was when we got pregnant the first time. So the first time that happened, they thought that I may have had an ectopic pregnancy, so they had me run more tests and that kind of thing. So this time, knowing my history, it wasn't an ectopic, but they just wanted to make sure that it had implanted in the right spot, and they just took such good care of me, which I'm so grateful for. So I actually had my first ultrasound at 5 weeks. And they just wanted to make sure again that it was implanted in the right spot. So I had an ultrasound at 5. I wrote this all down because I will forget. So I had an ultrasound at 5 weeks. Then I had another ultrasound at 7 weeks to see the heartbeat, and that was really cool. Neil was not able to come into any of these appointments with me, of course, because of the pandemic. So obviously, you know, it is sad that we can't, you know, be together to experience these moments together. And especially after loss, it is more anxiety producing, these appointments and waiting there by yourself and going into these ultrasounds, because you're praying that everything is, you know, developing and going good. And my HCG blood tests were rising. It was just kind of a really nerve-wracking time. So you know, I had the 7-week ultrasound, and that's when I got to see the heartbeat. I didn't get to hear it. They don't use the machine where I can hear it. So, but they showed me on the screen, and I definitely saw that little flicker, and it was super magical. And that was the first time I really cried. So that was really magical. And then at 12 weeks, which I think you're out of the first trimester when you're in the 12th week. But anyhow, I'm just gonna include in this, 12 weeks is when we got to see like the full, you know, the legs and the head, and everything was so cool. So I had a few of those ultrasounds. I'm gonna go into kind of like my symptoms in the first 3 months. So early on, like I mentioned, I was definitely fatigued. You almost feel like it's like period cramps, but so you have that like feeling in like your back, like some back pain, and then like some cramps on the sides. And that kind of made me a little bit nervous, just because when I had miscarried, it also feels like cramps. So I was just praying that everything was going how it was supposed to this time. But that is also very, very normal. As long as it's not accompanied by any bleeding, you can spot. I didn't spot, if it is, or you do spot, like, it is good to, you know, talk to your doctor about that. But I was cramping, and so definitely had some pains like that. Nausea hit around 7 or 8 weeks. I can't remember exactly, but it was a dull nausea. It wasn't like I woke up and I immediately needed to vomit. I probably have only like vomited maybe like 5 or 6 times. So I'm very grateful, because I know that it can be a lot more intense or every day. I just really was making sure to eat frequently. I noticed that if I was hungry, that's when the nausea would really hit me. And so I would wake up, I still wake up at night even sometimes still to eat. So I would just always have like crackers or cookies or snacks, fruit, nuts, that kind of thing. I've loved like chocolate milk, which is so funny because I've had chocolate milk in years. But just little things like that, just to kind of like hold me. So I'd have like yogurt at night to like, because it's just like a higher fat, so it would hold my hunger so I could sleep more through the night. But I would wake up to pee a lot more, which is normal with your hormone changes. So that, it was kind of like the first trimester. Definitely had like, it's funny because I was having some like leg cramps in the beginning, but I think it was just because I just was laying down so much and not moving as much. I definitely became, I called myself like a cave woman. So I just like would lay in that bedroom with the lights off, with my blankets and my heating pads and all my little things on the side table, and I would just rest a lot. I really just listened to my body, took a lot of time off just to, you know, fully just immerse myself in this experience and just really listen to my body during this time. I was definitely, you know, battling nerves and anxiety, so I just wanted to rest and lay down as much as I could. When walks were like great because it would just kind of like help me get fresh air, but really in the, like when that nausea was like hitting really hard, it was more towards like the evening. So I would sleep so early. I would like go to bed sometimes at like 5 or 6, but then I'd be up in the middle of the night looking for food. So I just really listened to my body in those times. Okay, let's get into some essentials that help me get through the first trimester. So I'm gonna start with nausea, since that is pretty common. Some people don't even really experience it. Again, I wouldn't say I've had like bad nausea, not when I was pregnant, but just before, so I know when it is that bad. This was more of like a dull kind of feeling, almost like when your stomach is hungry and you kind of feel like that like nauseated kind of feeling, but it would increase in the evening, and that's when I would just kind of have to fall asleep. So I was really thankful because one of my cousins is pregnant. She's due 3 months before me, so she kind of already had the experience to kind of like give me some of her essentials and tips and stuff like that. One of the things that she had mentioned were these Gravel ginger lozenges. I don't think you can get these in the US. I think Gravel is only a Canadian drugstore brand, but basically there's like no artificial sweeteners. It's just an anti-nausea little like lozenge that you can chew, and I would just pop these in my mouth and it would just kind of like curb it for a second. Maybe like in the night when I was really tired to like get up, I would just kind of pop one of those in my mouth. Or if I was just, you know, on a walk or something like that and it would just like hit me, it would just kind of be nice to pop these in my mouth. The other thing you can do are these like ginger chew candies. You can do ginger tea. I love ginger, but for some reason I just didn't want ginger tea, which is really strange because that's something that like I always love. Like I love chopping raw ginger with some honey or lemon, and I just didn't want it. It's really funny. I didn't want a lot of things that I normally would like. I didn't want potatoes, eggs, that kind of thing, but I was able to kind of like get those back into my diet again after the nausea kind of went away. But these are nice too. You can order these on Amazon. I got them from Whole Foods and they have like different flavors. So I got the ginger one. So this is another thing that she had mentioned. So you can like pop these in your bag or just have them like by your bedside, and they're like these chewy ginger candies, so that was nice. Another thing that helped me out were these like travel nausea bands. So you put them on your wrist, and they're like these like pressure points here that go into your wrist. You like measure it out by putting like 3 fingers on your wrist, and then you put the band right at that spot because that's apparently where like that spot is, and you would just press on this button and it would kind of like push into those pressure points. So I would like keep these bands on me too when it was hitting me hard. So these were really nice. People use these for like on like cruises or planes, like for like motion sickness. So apparently you can use them for a pregnancy, and they did help me. Again, didn't eliminate it. It would just kind of like chill it out a little bit, you know? I didn't drink too many like teas or anything like that. I was a little like nervous about like what herbs were safe and that kind of thing. I know you're supposed to avoid like, I think hibiscus, and a few other ones. So I didn't want, because I think it can like make your uterus contract, or anyways, I just kind of was trying to stay away from certain things and just be super careful. But kind of like near the end of my first trimester, I started just having, not every single day, but just kind of something to like warm me up. And this is the Earth Mama Organics Morning Wellness Tea. It's an organic herbal tea. It's caffeine free, and it's comforting ginger and mint. So this was nice. And then I have this like with a little bit of honey, and it's kind of like a nice like cozy comforting taste in your mouth. But for me, honestly, this was my best friend right here. My big jug of water. People think I am really hilarious with this huge bottle. I brought this into one of my appointments, and my OB was like, oh wow, that's a big water. I'm like, yeah. So before I even got pregnant, I was huge on hydration. I try to drink like 3 liters a day. This is a gallon. I didn't even mean to buy this big of a bottle. I thought I got half a gallon, and I ordered this on Amazon, but it definitely came in handy because I was just so much more dehydrated, which is weird because I always stay hydrated, but I just constantly felt thirsty, which I guess was one of my symptoms too. And so I just really had a lot of like water, and then if I did throw up, I would try to really replenish with some coconut water, which is great because there's electrolytes in there. And I would also have those Pedialyte freezer pops, which are great. You can get them at the drugstore, you can order them on Amazon, and they taste good. So I would do that just to kind of replenish and help myself if I lost any liquids from vomiting. That was really good. Of course, I started taking a prenatal. I was already on a prenatal for even before we started trying to conceive. So I've been on prenatals for a few years now. Of course I take that, and it has like all that stuff that you need for growing a healthy baby. But I also take vitamin D drops on the side, which is also super important, not just for like development, all that stuff. It's great for your immune system. And since we live in Canada, we don't get as much sun, especially in the winter. So I wanted to, my OB also recommended that I stay on my vitamin D, and I was already taking this before, and I also take an omega-3 fish oil, which is great to add in. And so I was taking that throughout my first trimester as well, and I'm continuing to take it throughout my pregnancy, and I will take it after. So I also have just wanted to let you guys know I've included all of this like rounded up in a blog post with links as well, so you'll find that down in the description box below. So you'll get all the links to all of these things down below as well. Okay, another weird thing that happened, and I guess this was part of like the dehydration part, even though I was staying on my hydration, it could just been just also from like winter, my lips just got so cracked and dry. So I love this Agave weekly lip scrub from Bite, and I could not find mine. I honestly got a little lazy. I was just so tired, and I just couldn't even think about, you know, doing my skincare and doing all that kind of stuff. But I did end up buying this, you know, through later on in my first trimester, and it really saved me. But it just was really good just for like exfoliating the dry lips. And then I also love their lip balm and their Clean Beauty brand, which I've switched over to like Clean Skin and that kind of stuff, especially like trying to conceive. And then during pregnancy, I wanted to really like be careful about the products and stuff that I'm using. And I absolutely love their like daytime lippy. I love their like evening lip therapy. I also love like just like those like lip sleep masks that are just really nourishing from them. So these came in handy because my lips were just so dry, and like that's kind of like the most self-care that I did in that time. I would wash my face most days, I think, and I was not wearing any makeup because I was just sleeping and resting a lot. And I would just kind of put on my moisturizer, if that, and then these guys were definitely my saving grace for my lips. And then as like your body starts changing, it didn't like happen right away. I definitely was bloated right from the start, and I thought that that was like my period coming, but it was definitely the bloating starting the pregnancy, and it just kind of continued. So I just really wore loose stuff, loose pajamas, my sweats, that kind of thing. Not that we're going anywhere anyways right now, we're staying home a lot, so you're hanging out at home anyways in loungewear, but I just didn't want anything tight, you know, around my like stomach area, and I just wanted to like allow everything to like grow and be free and loose. But when we would go for like walks, or if I wanted to like, I felt good to like do some yoga or that kind of thing, I did love my Align leggings from Lulu, and I wear a size 4, so it was still fitting me, and like it's very stretchy on the waist area, even the high-waisted stuff, the high-waisted leggings. So it was nice because it still gave me room to grow. But then now I've had to size up. This is just one of them. I got like this like really, I just wanted to kind of get like a nice fun color. So these are the Align HR pants in the 25-inch length, and just the Nulu fabric is it's so soft, it's nice and stretchy. So I've sized up now to a size 8. So I went up 2 sizes, that way like my belly can grow, and I thought this was like a fun color for the spring, going into summer. And then I can wear these also for postpartum, but the black ones that I have worked for me really, really great in the beginning. Again, I just kind of wanted more like loose clothes, and if I did have any like tights, then I just made sure that they were like not cutting off any circulation or that kind of thing, and I was still comfortable. And then, as I mentioned, one of my symptoms was like that back pain. I would even get like round ligament pain. You start getting all kinds of different like twinges and pains. So I didn't put this on super hot. That has like different settings. This is like an electric heat pad, and I would always just keep it on warm. So there's warm, low, medium, high. I would just keep it on warm, and I wouldn't do it for too long. You want to be careful about heat. You know, they warn about that in pregnancy, so like not taking like super hot baths. You can take a bath, you can take, you know, obviously a shower and that kind of thing, but like you shouldn't be sitting in like scorching hot water or like putting something that's too hot on like the area. So I would always keep this just like on warm, and it would just kind of help soothe those pains, that kind of thing, so that I wouldn't have to take a Tylenol, even though it was, you know, safe to, but like if I would get like headaches or backaches or that kind of thing, I just kind of wanted to kind of like soothe it all. Naturally I would take like if I needed to, but yeah, I just kind of stuck with the little heat pad here, and that would just kind of like help soothe those little backaches and cramps and that kind of stuff. So the last thing is my best friend in the whole world, which is my Barefoot Dreams blanket. Me and this thing, we were BFFs, we still are, but I just would snuggle up in this in my little cave with the lights shut off, and I would just snooze or relax, and it was just so cozy and soft. All you want are like cozy, soft, comforting things, I feel like, when you don't feel well, and just so much is happening. So I definitely loved this. It's a great little investment, and I've had it for a few years now, and I love them. I know a lot of people talk about the Barefoot Dreams blankets, but they're so soft and they're so lovely. So a cozy blanket will definitely help you get through the first trimester, especially if you're not feeling well and you're laying down more and you just kind of want to be cozy, and it's winter time, so I definitely love it. So that is it for this trimester's recap. I am just so excited to share more of our pregnancy journey here, and like I mentioned, I've done a few posts already, and I'm gonna have a corresponding blog post to this with like more of my essentials that you can check out in the description box below. Everything will be linked. I'm gonna be talking a little bit more about just my pregnancy experience, as well as some fun stuff like baby prep and nursery and all that stuff this year. We're still gonna have, you know, the other kind of content that I do here on this channel, but I am excited to kind of bring you guys along on this journey as well, and I'm just so grateful for it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you're pregnant, how far along you are, what you found helpful. It could maybe help someone else as well during their first trimester. I know that it can be a little bit tough, but it is so worth it, and you will get through it. Your body knows what it's doing, and it's a really exciting time as your body is growing this baby. So I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video.